and other intellectual property through electronic leakage. In the public sector, sensitive diplomatic cables are suddenly splashed across the headlines worldwide. The same organizations that broadcast those cables gleefully distribute lists of critical infrastructure, airports, bridges, chemical plants, that are the most vulnerable to attack. And as I describe in the pages that follow, we're losing strategically sensitive data about aircraft and ship design, radars, and other defense technology, as well as information about auto manufacturing, engineering designs, and other commercial innovations. This theft contributes to the tidal flow of capital from west to east that threatens our prosperity, and it could in wartime cost many American lives. This kind of theft is targeted and systematic. The U.S. Navy spent about $5 billion to develop a quiet electric drive for its submarines and ships, so they'd be silent and hard to track. Chinese spies stole it. The Navy spent billions more to develop new radar for their top-of-the-line Aegis cruiser. Chinese spies stole that, too. The electronic intelligence services of the Chinese and the Russians are working us over, taking advantage of our porous networks and indifference to security to steal billions of dollars worth of military and commercial secrets. Some of our allies, like the French and the Israelis, have tried it too. Pentagon information systems have been under attack since at least 1998. In August 2006, Major General William Lloyd of the Air Force let the public in on the secret when he mentioned that massive heist of up to 20 terabytes. To carry this volume of documents in paper form, you'd need a line of moving vans stretching from the Pentagon to the Chinese freighters docked in Baltimore Harbor, 50 miles away. If the Chinese tried to do that, we'd have the National Guard out in 15 minutes. But when they did it electronically, hardly anyone noticed. As it happens, the data were stolen from the Pentagon's unclassified networks, but those networks hold lots of sensitive information, including the names and private identifying information of every man and woman in the U.S. Armed Forces. It would be a serious mistake to think that the difference between classified and unclassified is the difference between important and unimportant, or sensitive and non-sensitive. Lots of information is sensitive but not classified, especially when it relates to technology and personnel. According to the Air Force's General Lloyd, when the Chinese pulled off this heist, they were looking for your identity so they can get into the network as you. General Lloyd did not reveal what is perhaps even more troubling. We don't know exactly what data were taken because the Defense Department doesn't bother to encrypt most of its data. They thought it was too much trouble. But the Chinese, on their way out the electronic door, did encrypt it. Too much trouble? They didn't think so. According to the Government Accountability Office, the number of unauthorized accesses or installations of malicious software on U.S. government computers increased by 650% since 2006. The trend is disquieting, and the official data almost certainly undercounts the problem. And this trend is hardly limited to the public sector. To give just one example of the magnitude of espionage aimed at private companies, a sophisticated team of hackers broke into the Royal Bank of Scotland payroll system in late 2008 and stole information that let them counterfeit credit balances on ATM cards. They then mounted a coordinated attack on 139 ATMs in the United States, Canada, Russia, and China that netted about $9 million in 30 minutes. If this were a traditional bank robbery, it would rank as one of the largest in history. Chinese and Russian cyber operators have made advanced, persistent intrusions into the networks of other banks, too. To what end, we don't yet know. This kind of intrusion infects a system with malicious code that's difficult, sometimes even impossible to wipe out, because it continually changes to evade detection. It opens electronic trapdoors so that outsiders can bypass the system's security, and if one door is nailed shut,